haven't done this on video yet. I have been here before, but we are going to once again attempt, keyword attempt, to hike Prospect Park. City of Leominster has bought up a few parcels of woods, and in this case they chopped it into a trail system. A little fun for the city folk here. And this is the map, and I did memorize this, and I still wound up lost. I am not 100% sure if the trail system was just poorly marked, wasn't quite finished yet, but it was good enough to serve its purpose, or I just plain can't find my way around anything. Because I was known in cross country in high school to be the one that got lost very easily. That's because in order for me to run the course, I have to see it. Yeah, my, there we go, memory, Paul Brown, Chandler Smith. So, my cross-country coach would do these mental tours of some of the courses we had to run. And whenever we had a mental tour, that meant I got lost. I have to see it first. And there's the park entrance. The problem is I haven't seen this, so when I don't see it, I get lost. This is actually a second take. The first take I had the image stabilization off and didn't realize it. That's because the lens was dirty and I wanted to clean it. I looked down just to be sure I was aiming right, and I noticed the picture was moving quite a bit. And of course, for those with pets, please clean up after them. Now I know this part always existed, the bridge. And this ultimately goes to the system itself. Now the problem with the system is it just turns into trails, unless, like I said, they have fixed things up a little bit. Now it just comes to a dead end. Now I just hope that the system has been cleared a little better, because if we see train tracks, we know we went the wrong way. So that's a problem, is that we've gone along the train tracks and never saw another path leading back into this system. This is in between some residences, so it's not a big park. And you can't really get lost, because worst case scenario, follow the train tracks. About a mile north, you'll head into the Leominster train station. The next stop would be Shirley, but that's several miles away. Look at this little storm pond here. I keep hearing some weird noise in the woods over there. Yeah, this is not very... I'm sorry to say, but this one's not maintained very well. There's almost no hint. See, there's nothing telling you where the paths go or anything like that. I think this is part of it. Pierce Park needs a better system for marking their trails. They built a nice bridge, though. Fairly solid. Fairly substantial. Well, wobbles a little bit, but still, it's not bad. And here's the tributary that goes to the storm runoff. And here we are again with trails that aren't marked, and I don't know if it's part of the system. I see a yellow dot. I don't know if that's indicative of the system. Seems to be old. Oh, I see a yellow dot. I think that might be a hint that this is part of it. There were absolutely zero markings when I was here on my initial attempt on my own. So I'm not sure what we're doing, where we're going. All I know is we can't get lost, because we're surrounded by a street on one side, train tracks on another, and parallel to each other at 90 degrees would be people's houses. Here we go with an unmarked trail, but this time it's easy to tell that this is not the way to go because I can see a house. And we got a yellow dot over here. Alright, we do actually have something that tells us that it goes this way. But right now we'll just take a little detour. We're not going to go really any further. See, this is the type of bridge you normally see crossing these small little tributaries. Again, another nice solid bridge. Oh, now we got orange dots. So we do have a system after all. Must be, like I said, fairly recent, because I checked this out the year it opened and none of this existed. 49. And we still get the yellow dots, so we know we are going the right way. Just gonna tilt my viewfinder a little bit, might cause a little extra noise and jitteriness there. And I hit a rock. Well, we know if we somehow manage to get lost, there's somebody's backyard. There's some other people's backyards. course, as you might notice when I'm alone, these hikes tend to move a bit faster. Although not as fast as I can go, because then that would produce a very undesirable video. So the camera would be going back and forth like crazy. Although that time it did when we were doing the Parmenta Road video into Westminster, that somehow I must have caused a resonance thing, and the image stabilization just completely failed. Picture would just be swinging violently from side to side, even though I was holding the camera still. There were a few times that I was going over jagged terrain and I'm moving around a little bit, but this was just the image stabilization simply not working. Because it's got a this camera I'm using, my newer one, has a floating optics block that the early 80s technology, I should say mid 80s technology. So that's how the first image stabilization camcorders worked. Had a floating optical block. And when you moved, it would counteract your movements. Yeah, this is way better than it was before. Like I said, I must have hit this before they got a chance to mark it, because at this point I would be seeing train tracks. Yep, this is exactly where I wound up. Only difference, there's now a dot telling us where to go. Because what I would do, see, there's the dot. I think I got it. Yeah, right there. I went this way. And I thought this was part of the trail system. And lo and behold, I found train tracks. This is where I got lost. And I thought this was the trail that we were supposed to follow. Well, now we got something telling us that this is the way. Because like I said, that wasn't there before. So I'm glad they got the markings down. And that's another orange trail. We're just going to take a slight detour. We are going to head right back. 50. Yeah, these didn't have intersection markings either. I'm glad they've got around to it. Yeah, all these are just interior paths that interconnect the whole, the whole loop, the whole system. There we go. Now we're back on track. Traffic noise you hear is Route 2, which is next to the tracks. I won't point the camera because there's a small speck of an area where you can see it. Big steep hill. Yeah, the ground's a little wet today because in spite of it only being predicted to be cloudy and the clouds breaking up, it was misting most of the morning. In fact, it was misting when I was halfway here. I don't like the way this is done. We got the yellow dot, but it's not telling you which way. Unfortunately, there's another yellow dot right here. Yeah, there it is. It's hard to tell in the viewfinder. On video, yeah, you probably saw it. On the viewfinder, things are a lot smaller, and when outside, a lot of things are a bit obscured from brightness. Okay, it's supposed to be on the right-hand side. Does it go this way? I don't see any real trail that way. Actually, I do. I don't know if it goes that way. See, this is some of the problem. Because some of the dots they're supposed to be on the right-hand side, but some of them are not. So let's just see if this way is it. Yeah, it is. See, they should have had an arrow like this right here. And they didn't have one. So I was going the wrong way. And the thing is, if you don't hike, and you're not familiar with the Leominster trail system, you're supposed to follow the dots, and they're supposed to be on your right. But some of the problem is, some of them actually are on the left. So there's some inconsistency as well. I think they were trying to fix that. Yeah, there's trails that lead to nowhere, and not good. Yeah, so if you didn't know that fact that the dots are supposed to be on the right, in the direction you are traveling, you would have wound up lost in that section. I mean, ultimately, you'd hit some sort of city or town life, whether it be here in Leominster or in Shirley or Lunenburg. Yeah, you'd hit Lunenburg first. Shirley would be the next thing you would see on the train tracks. Although you'd hit a granite quarry first. And that is in Lunenburg. I'm surprised I'm not getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here. Yeah, there were a few, but that's about it. It's late July and it's only like lower 70s. But the humidity's up there, so it feels like it's in the upper 70s or very low 80s, which is not really that bad. And here we are. Before we take the prescribed route, let's just see if this was the trail that we were following. Yeah, I think this was. This was the one we were initially following. But the thing is, I wouldn't know to have turned here. Although we would have realized something would have went wrong because right at the very end, there's a house. Alrighty. And that's where we came from. And here's the way we're supposed to be going if you're following the proper system. They have interesting bridges. This one's got slopes on both sides. And it's going over nothing at the moment. But on more rainy season, there's a little more something there. I think we're getting close to the end because you're getting close to houses again. Yeah, some of these paths need a little work to be done. Alrighty. Well, I don't think we really have a choice. It says to go this way, because if we didn't, there again, we'd be in somebody's yard. Actually, I got it fenced off, so might not have been. Whatever. This is the way. And we come to a crossroad. 52. Of course, some of the inner trails okay, that's an orange. But we're just going to go down this way a little bit. Alright, it just keeps going down. And if the video, I've noticed a few times, because it's a floating block optical system, sometimes level is a little higher at times and lower at others. Here's the thing. We don't have anything telling us that if this is the trail or not. Looks like it is. Yeah, there's a yellow dot. And someone on a bike coming through. There's the yellow dot. A wooden bike. I've never seen that before. Alrighty. Would have been weird if it was a wild animal. It's just a small patch of forest between the city, highway, and train tracks. It's so quiet. You would almost never know it was in the city. Well, it's in the suburbs, but still. We got a major highway system out there. And we got backyards to the right. Guy's struggling in spots. It's just some parts of a trail that need a mountain bike. He's got an old-fashioned wooden one. Whether or not it's old or not, I don't know. But the fact that it's a bike made out of wood, that is just interesting. And it tells us to keep going straight. I think that's another spur trail. In fact, that's where we started. And there's the drainage pond yet again. So we have, thanks to the Leominster Recreation Department, fixing the trail system, so we know what's a trail and what isn't. Thanks to them, we've actually successfully completed this. There's a few areas that need improvement. I mean, a live ecological area. Things tend to change, so it might be okay when they went through. It's probably not good enough now. Yeah, that one trail needs an arrow to point which way it's to go, and then there's another area, not that, when we started hearing noises from that cyclist, where it looked like the trail just came to an abrupt end. That needs to be marked. Or it needs to be cleared up. But other than that, I think we can say mission accomplished. This time without getting lost. Not winding up on train tracks. And there we have it. Back out into the open. I don't know if they allow parking on here. I know that they're not supposed to block a driveway, which doesn't seem to really exist. What I'm gonna do is look at the map one more time, see if something interesting might be in the middle of all this. I don't think it really showed much of anything other than, the general trail layout. That's fine if it isn't. Yeah, the only major thing is the storm drain. It's the black shaped thing there on the bottom middle there. So, mission accomplished. Prospect Park, much better marked. There's a few trail markings that need a bit of improvement, or maybe a few more to be added, because there were a couple times I've questioned where I was. But really not all that bad as camera drifts on me there. So that's a little hike through Prospect Park. And this is George F551 saying hope you enjoyed and have a good one.